好，大家欢迎回到我们频道，我是你的好朋友艾德蒙。今天我们打卡位置非常特殊，跟你们每个人都息息相关哦。知道是什么吗？地税。大家要了解地税是怎么来的。我们今天要跟我们的大佬好好聊一聊。哪位大佬？大家不知道了吧？我们的估值局大佬，走，跟我一起去看一看吧。Hi everyone, welcome back to HomeTube. Here we are with Mr. Jeff Prang again, talking about our county assessor and what they do. And today we're going to actually be going straight into a fun topic. What are some of the misconceptions people have about the assessor's office?
So the biggest misconception people have about the assessor's office is what we do. Most people think I do something that I actually don't do, and that is collect taxes.
You don't do that?
The assessor does not collect taxes. The guy who collects taxes, he's got a very intuitive title. He's called the tax collector.
You don't say.
So there's in property taxes and administration, there's many different departments.
Right.
My department does the value. The auditor controller sets the tax rates.
Right.
And then the treasurer tax collector sends out the bills and collects the payments.
Okay, so if somebody were to come after people for taxes, that's not you.
If you have a problem with your tax bill,
Yeah.
don't call me, call the tax collector.
Okay.
A lot of people get confused because they call me the tax assessor, but that's not an existing title. There's no such thing as a tax assessor.
Let's throw two things in one title.
It's assessor and tax collector.
Okay.
And if you say tax assessor, we don't know what you want. Do you want the collector or you want the assessor?
Yeah, don't be confusing, guys.
It is confusing.
Yeah. All right, got it. Well, we're going to head into our second question. There's a lot of talk about Proposition 19, isn't it?
Proposition 19, yes, it is. It's a brand new measure. It is an amendment to Proposition 13 that changed a lot of property tax law. So Proposition 19 does two primary things. The first thing it does is really beneficial for senior citizens.
Oh, okay.
Or for the disabled and people who are victims of a natural disaster,
I didn't know that.
Flood, fire, earthquake. So essentially, if you're a senior citizen or one of those other categories, you can move and buy a new home and take your property tax base with you without being reassessed.
Okay.
And you can, under this new law, you can move 3 times without reassessment. You can move anywhere in the state of California. The old law just allowed you to move into a handful of counties.
Okay.
And you can also buy a home of any value. The old law just allowed you to buy a home of equal or lesser value to benefit from this tax savings.
So you are technically allowed to purchase something cheaper or of higher price?
Yes, you can buy a home of any value and transfer your tax base.
And you're free roaming anywhere in California?
Anywhere in California. The only caveat is if you buy a home that's more expensive, there will be an adjustment in taxes. It will not be a full market rate, but it'll be a blended rate of your transferred tax base and then the higher value.
I see. That's interesting. And the second part of
The second part of it deals with family inheritance. Now, this was a part of Prop 19 that the public was not very aware of when they voted on it. This deals with family inheritance. And Proposition 19 greatly reduced the family inheritance benefits that existed previously.
How does that work?
Under the previous law, you could inherit your parents' home. That home could be of any value, and you could take possession of that property without being reassessed. Under the new law, additionally, you could also inherit up to $1 million in other property, like a rental, without being reassessed. Under Prop 19, the only property where you get the tax benefit from is your parents' primary residence. And you only get it if you move into that home within 12 months and file for the homeowner's exemption. There's another caveat. So it's really only a benefit on the first $1 million in value. So if the home is worth over $1 million, the first $1 million will be the same tax rate as your parents. The value over $1 million will be at the new market rate of that property. It'll still be a tax benefit from a full market rate assessment, but it will be more than your parents paid. And the rental properties that you inherit those will be reassessed to market rate and the taxes will go up.
Right. So parents, if you own $1 million home and your kids want to move back with you, you know what's up. So
keep in mind that in LA County, the median sales price of a single family home is close to $900,000.
It is? Oh, wow. It was mid 800s. Now it's at 900 now?
It's about 850,000.
That's crazy.
And growing. LA City, it's over $1 million.
Oh, wow. Well, you were talking about the fire victims, right? I mean, for
Right.
how does that work?
So let's say, let me use a real world example. The Paradise Fire a couple years ago where all the homes were destroyed. Well, if you don't have a home to live in, but you were paying property taxes on that home, you can now move to a new home someplace else and take that property tax base with you without being reassessed at the market value of the new home. So there's a benefit there for the victims of a fire.
I see.
Other types of disasters might be a flood or an earthquake.
Okay, that's good to know. And then, well, that's great information. Now, Jeff, you look like a tech savvy guy. I mean, with all these, money going on that you guys are responsible for every year, what are some of the, high-end technology you guys are implementing on the stuff?
So I think what you're referring to is, we are a technology-driven office. It's the more technology we have, the better we can do our job. But when I was first elected 7 years ago, this department was still using an old 1970s era mainframe, green screen, DOS-based
Sounds like a lot of
platform.
fun.
It was really inefficient for our employees. We had to teach them how to read all the codes.
Right.
Members of the public, it just didn't have good accessibility of information for members of the public. So we've launched a five-phase, multi-year, $100 million plus campaign to replace that technology platform with a cloud-based system. And this new technology allows us to provide a robust information for the public. So there's virtually all of our information, which is publicly accessible, is now available on the county's website or on the Assessor portal. It's better for our employees. It's easier to train because it uses plain language. All the data is consolidated into a single site. We've digitized all of our documents. When I first came here, we had 2.5 million property files, all in paper form.
Wow.
We've digitized hundreds of millions of documents.
You keep all that stuff. That's crazy.
We kept them in huge warehouses in our offices, these big cavernous rooms with those moving shelves. It's all digitized now, so any employee can access a property file from their desktop.
Wow, so the state-of-the-art website that you guys are implementing now is going to benefit not just you guys, but also the user end, right?
Absolutely. We're already getting positive feedback from members of the public. And we've actually found that we get, in some ways, fewer calls and emails because the public can get the information on their own without having to call us.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, you're talking about 5 different phases. Where are we at right now on that?
We're in phase 4. We got probably about a year to a year and a half to complete the major project. It's like any other technology project, we will never be done.
Well, we cannot wait. Are you guys excited? I am. And then I remember there was a way that you can actually get additional information.
We invite you to stay in touch with our department. We have a great website, assessor.lacounty.gov. If you own property, you can also subscribe to our monthly newsletter, which gives really valuable tips on property ownership. And if you're a realtor like you or some other type of real estate professional, we send out a quarterly real estate professionals newsletter, which gives even more insider information to help you with your professional development. Or with your own education, help you make yourself look a little smarter with your clients.
Absolutely. Want to sound smart, realtors? Make sure you subscribe to that stuff.
Absolutely.
And I just overheard you guys are hiring right now, aren't you?
We are actually hiring. We're hiring a position called appraiser assistant. These are apprenticeship positions, and if you were successful in this program, you could graduate to becoming a full real estate appraiser and a potential long career in this department.
And what kind of qualifications or prerequisites that you guys have?
You need to have 2 years of college education to apply for the appraiser assistant program.
Okay, so for those of you who are interested in knowing what the assessors do, what their office does, that's a great opportunity to get into, isn't it?
The county government's a good place to work. It's good salary, good benefits, and good retirement. Absolutely.
And the very end of our interview, is there's one thing you'd like to say to our audiences, what would that be?
I just want to let everybody know that we are a public service agency that takes the word public service to heart. If there's anything that you need from us, if you need us to hold your hand, to help you walk you through whatever questions or problems you may have with your property ownership or the issues with our department, please call on us. We're here to help.
That's awesome. Make sure you guys stay connected. Thank you, Jeff, for being on our show. I hope you guys learned a great deal today. We'll see you again next time.